Guys, this is Jody Hand, and today I'm going to do a card front for you with a sunflower and a little saying that says, "You are my sunshine." I'm going to go ahead and sketch this out in pencil first before I write my sentiment. And the reason I do that is when I'm going back with a brush pen, I'm not super confident in my ability to line it up all the time. So it's nice just to go with a pencil first to make sure that you are centered and have it evenly spaced and you have it the way you want before you commit to putting that permanent pen down on your watercolor paper. So I'm going to actually do some really tall, skinny letters on here. I'm going to draw those out in pencil first, just to make sure that I get them the way that I want. And I actually did write this one time before this, and I erased it because I was very off on my spacing, and I had very left, was way too far left before. Okay, now I think I have my spacing nice. I'm going to go ahead and go over this, and I think I'm going to use my Tombow brush pens, maybe. I can find them on my desk here. It's so messy. I'm going to use these Tombow dual brush pens, and I have this set. It's just the primary set, and I'm going to use the brown out of this to match with my sunflower. And I'm actually going to go ahead and use the bullet tip on this. Okay, so I do have a little bit of pencil line showing through, and I'm just going to use my eraser to erase that. Put my pen back in there. And I gone and screwed that up by not waiting for that to dry. All right, that's not that bad. Make sure you wait for that to dry completely before you go to erase your pencil lines. Okay, and what I want to do is I don't want my watercolor to bleed down, so I want a nice straight edge across that. I'm actually going to use my tape, my masking tape, and I'm going to put that over top of that, and I want the edge to be just above where I wrote. So I'm going to tape that down. And then I'll have my sunflower coming up this way. And I'm going to use today a Princeton Velvetouch round size 10 to do my sunflower. And I'm going to do all of my petals first. I think I'm going to be using these two right here, this Hansa Yellow Light and the Hansa Yellow Deep. And then I'll be using the Burnt Umber for the center of my flower. And just using the palette that I already had some paint on, I had that color right there. Just get a little bit more. And using my size 10 brush, I'm going to make my petals going around, and my center would be kind of here. And if you wanted to, you could just kind of draw a very light semicircle here just to give yourself an idea of where you want your center to be. And you can go out from there and come out to a point. So I'm going to go big and come out to a point, and I'll do some and this will just be the first layer. We're actually going to go over this with the darker. Make some of those a little bigger. If you wanted to, you could have this actually just like coming off of the page over here. little taller here in the center. Okay, so let's see. I want to, okay, a little bit more there. Okay, so now I'm going to take my darker yellow and use this Hansa Yellow Deep. I'm just kind of mix it right where that was. I'm going to go right into that wet watercolor and just add that over the top. Okay, take my burnt umber now. And actually, I kind of want that to be a little bit darker in the middle, so I'm going to add a little bit of that neutral tint. I still want that a little darker. There we go. Go ahead and put this in the center. I might have to do a couple washes over this to get this a nice dark brown. And just fill in where my semicircle was. It's okay if we have some bleeding here. I want a nice dark wash over this. Get a lot of pigment there. I'm going to go ahead and dry that a little bit so that I can add another layer over top. And I already see I had an issue here with some bleeding, so I'm going to have to fix that after I get the tape pulled up. Okay, and I want to add a little bit of a detail here along the edge. Just where like the little seeds would be. I'm just going to do some little dots coming in. I'm just using the tip of my brush. Add just a little more of a dark wash over top of that. Just kind of add in a little bit to give that a little variation. Okay, and I'll dry that really quick and then I will pull my tape up. And I will show you how to fix that. Okay. Got this. See, I have just a little bit of this brown that bled. I didn't really care for that. So I'm going to get my brush with clean water on it and just dab off some of the extra. And then very carefully, I'm going to just kind of rub that edge with my clean water and then dab that onto my paper towel. Okay, so I got rid of most of that right there. You don't want your brush to be too wet while you do this because it will just make it bleed everywhere and you'll end up with blooms on your paper. So I'm just very lightly, and I dried it off on the paper towel, and then I'm just dabbing that just to kind of hide that brown edge. So that's a lot better. All right, and if you want to go ahead and add a little bit more detail, I'm actually just going to add a few more little streaks of yellow over the top here, just to give very thin lines here. I'm just going to do some rounded petal type shapes, just to give a little more detail. All right, and you can go ahead and attach that to the front of a card, or you can put it in a little frame and give it to someone. It would be a great little gift. It's a really simple and easy sunflower painting. And if you want to share your painting with me, I'd love to see it. You can follow me on Instagram, Mrs. Hand Painted, and use the hashtag Mrs. Hand Painted to share your work with me. Have a great day, guys.